For years, Team USA operated with one unshakable belief: the program controls the narrative. Then Caitlin Clark sat down at an NBC desk, and that belief shattered in real time.
It's been a long time since anybody's seen Caitlin Clark on the floor. There was a little bit at the training camp in December, but the last time she really played competitively was back in July. So you understand where the anticipation is going to be when the USA basketball team takes the floor in March. As far as that goes, here's the schedule if you want to see that and get prepared. March 11th versus Senegal, followed by Puerto Rico on March 12th, Italy on March 14th, New Zealand on March 15th, and Spain on March 17th. So a bunch of action in the middle of March. And it really is exciting. It's not just lip service to say it. It's genuinely exciting to see some of the combination of players that will be out there, to see Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers share the floor, perhaps share the backcourt. We don't know who's going to start exactly, obviously, on this team as of yet. To see Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese share the floor.
Nobody inside the national team headquarters saw this coming. They expected noise. They expected hype. They did not expect to lose control. Caitlin Clark's first appearance as an NBC analyst wasn't supposed to be a turning point. It was scheduled as a harmless guest spot, a brief segment, a nice crossover moment to promote women's basketball. What actually happened changed everything. From the moment the cameras focused on her, the energy shifted. NBA fans didn't treat her like a temporary visitor. They treated her like she'd always belonged in that chair. She broke down plays with calm authority. She analyzed defensive rotations like a 10-year veteran. She didn't seem impressed by the stage or the legends sitting beside her. And millions of viewers stayed glued to their screens. That's when the real trouble started, not on TV, but behind closed doors where the power brokers were watching. Inside Team USA's inner circle, something unsettling began to dawn on everyone. The conversation wasn't about the program anymore. It wasn't about Olympic selection or coaching decisions or team chemistry. It was entirely about her. Caitlin Clark had become the story, bigger than the institution itself. This terrifies organizations built on hierarchy because Team USA has always operated on one principle: the jersey comes first. The player serves the program. The program does not serve the player. NBC shattered that doctrine in a single evening. Fans didn't ask permission to care about her. They didn't wait for official approval. They simply followed what felt authentic. They followed Caitlin Clark, and that's when the coach's composure started cracking subtly at first.
Caitlin Clark has got to be the starting point guard for this team. I mean, come on. Let's not try to get cute here. And I could see them trying to get cute by doing the whole, well, she's returning from injury and yada, yada, yada. No, Caitlin Clark, since she come out and said, I'm 100% ready to go. She's ready to roll. And then Stephanie White's there. I want to go out on a limb and say her coach, her advocate, Stephanie White. No, you guys know I'm just not going to say that. So we'll have to find out how this happens, how this ends up looking, because I don't know about you. Sixth person of the year, sixth person off the bench, Caitlin Clark does not have a ring to it for me. It does not.
Then unmistakably, the shift was visible to anyone paying attention. Interview answers grew shorter. Body language turned defensive. The warmth that once existed in public statements was replaced by something colder, more measured. Not outright hostility, that would be too obvious, but the kind of quiet resentment that leaks through tone and eye contact. Fans noticed immediately because genuine confidence doesn't react emotionally to someone else's success. Insecurity does. Confidence lifts others. Insecurity flinches at their glow. Here's the brutal irony. While leadership looked rattled, Caitlin Clark stayed completely unbothered. She issued no statements. She offered no defenses. She didn't acknowledge the tension at all. That silence amplified everything. Because when the system looks defensive and the player looks peaceful, audiences instinctively choose the player. They recognize composure. They trust calm. And Clark's quiet confidence made every frustrated glance from the coaching staff look smaller, pettier, more desperate. NBC executives noticed too. They quickly confirmed she'd return for another broadcast on March 29th. This time for Knicks versus Thunder. The door wasn't just open, they were rolling out a welcome mat. This created an unprecedented problem for Team USA. How do you control a player who doesn't need your platform to reach the world? NBA audiences made something crystal clear during that broadcast. They weren't watching out of obligation or political correctness. They watched because Clark felt real. She spoke basketball fluently. She didn't oversell herself. She didn't perform gratitude. She simply existed as herself. That authenticity resonated harder than any carefully crafted marketing campaign ever could. That's when Team USA realized the uncomfortable truth. They didn't own her momentum. The public did. And once momentum belongs to the crowd, institutions lose control permanently. You can't slow it down. You can't redirect it. You can only react. And reacting late makes you look weak. The coach's visible frustration didn't damage Caitlin Clark. It confirmed her status. Fans didn't turn against Team USA out of anger. They reacted from disappointment. Disappointment that an organization built on excellence couldn't celebrate its brightest star without visible resentment. Disappointment that the program seemed more concerned with hierarchy than with growth. Disappointment is dangerous because disappointed fans don't protest, they simply disengage. And a program without fan support is just a collection of people in matching warm-ups. Clark represented something the old system wasn't prepared for: independence, relevance outside permission, a superstar who doesn't need the machine to shine. This wasn't about one NBC appearance. It was about what that appearance represented. It represented acceleration in a world built for patience. It represented authenticity over politics. It represented presence over permission. And rigid structures can't handle acceleration. They crack. The program didn't collapse, but it was exposed. Exposed as unprepared for a player whose gravity grows faster than bureaucracy can respond. The NBA gets this. NBC gets this. Even golf events get this. Clark draws crowds everywhere except in spaces where her own league's leadership seems oddly reluctant to acknowledge her. Every league but her own celebrates her light. The lesson of this moment extends far beyond one broadcast or one coach's reaction. Caitlin Clark revealed what wasn't ready for prime time, not herself, but the system trying to contain her. She demonstrated that modern fandom follows what feels real, not what's officially approved. She proved that institutions clinging to old models of control will keep losing ground to players who understand that connection beats hierarchy every time. The coach's visible discomfort didn't slow Clark down for a second. If anything, it accelerated the conversation about who really holds power in women's basketball. The game didn't change because Caitlin Clark challenged Team USA. It changed because Team USA finally realized they couldn't control her. And once that realization sinks in, nothing goes back to normal. The shift happens quietly, but it happens decisively. If this breakdown of sports politics opened your eyes, support the channel. Hit the like button and make sure you're following HoopSpot for more deep dives into the real stories behind the game. The next chapter is already being written.